Hi folks, you're with Tacitus today, your pushback channel, and thank you for joining this audio live stream. Please listen to this presentation as you would a radio broadcast. In this essay, I'd like to talk about the claim, and there are numerous claims running around. It's now a globalist sort of delegitimized Trump type talking point. They've coordinated and scripted it, and it's centrally being distributed around to all the globalist talking heads, that the election of Donald Trump will usher in an era of super misogyny of misogynies. Everybody panic, everybody run for the hills, and what is this danger exactly? Well, they can't really explain, so they're trying to use crazy sort of numbers that on social media it's claimed that comments about women belong in the kitchen, pregnant and barefoot in the kitchen, oppressed by evil men. This is women in the kitchen. These references have increased by 5,000%. References to just demanding, sex from women, rape and then oppression and and very Marxist sort of language they use here. That's gone up 10,000%, and claims that women should be just made available for men's sexual pleasure and gratification has gone up 10 million%. And it's all these claims which are quite obviously nonsense. And it's again, the people at the forefront are these lesbian gender studies academics who perceive the world through gender social power relations. And now when the globalists installed the previous administration into the White House in 2020, and it became aggressively misandrous, hatred of men, hatred of families, hatred of Christians, hatred of white people. Well, that's okay. No, that's all right. It's okay when we do it. But so they hysterically imagine, delusionally imagine this misandry, this misogyny rather, misogyny being the hatred of women, misandry the hatred of men. They imagine this misogyny and claim that it's everywhere and it's off the charts. And I was talking to my friend the other day who said she was raped and beaten and sexually molested 1 million times, and this is just walking between the lounge room and the bathroom. It's beyond real. I mean, you look at it, and you look at these articles and listen to the talking heads, and all you can do is laugh. I mean, incredulity is just off the scales here. But this is the stuff they're putting about, and girls on college campuses, watch out, and so on, and they're trying to sow fear and terror. If there are any laws about misinformation, they should be applied for those people. Sowing fear and panic, and this would be the classic of classic examples of doing exactly that. Whereas if the straight white guy complains about mass immigration, then he's a fascist, Nazi, misinformation, troublemaker. But the people spreading this thing that women are in terrible danger, no, that's okay. Oh, no, we're allowed to do that. It's okay when we do it because we're morally superior, with us allowed. So this is the stuff that's going around, and of course it's quite ridiculous, and the numbers they claim to have 5,000% increase in women being in the kitchen or something. I doubt that's true. I doubt it's even remotely true. Maybe they went to some corner of the internet to find where there were no cases, and and then they found a few, and so claim it's 5,000%. Now, given the people that are supposedly collating these numbers are again rabid activists, you can't rely on any of it. Now, there was one, and I can't think off the top of the head, I can't think of his name now. One media personality was, women were saying, well, we're going to go on a sex strike and we're not going to have sexual relations with men for the next 4 years. Who thought of that? And and they're putting it out there that, hey, we uniquely and unilaterally get to choose whether sex does or doesn't happen. There's not two people involved, there's only one, according to them. A lot of women who I wouldn't necessarily call activists seem to have this view. I decide, it's up to me only, and nothing to do with the guy. So the assumption seems to be that any guy will fuck anything, and therefore the only deciding factor of whether intimate relations happen or not, whether she says yes or no, that seems to be which strikes me as odd. Does that mean there are no men out there who are fussy or have certain preferences, that they prefer somebody tall or short, or dark hair or light coloured hair, or this or that? There's no decision making on the other side. It must be terribly low, the common denominator, sort of a vulgar, brutish, feral man who's also drunk and will fuck anything. Maybe that's their sort of perception of the landscape, in which case I'd say they've got a bigger problem than anything else. But a guy, a media personality in the US, came back and said, and I'm paraphrasing here, so, well, it's not just your decision, girls, women, it's also my decision on who I decide to fuck, which is a statement of the obvious, I would have thought. That is, two people make the decision, not one. But this was jumped all over as advocating rape, Hitler, Nazi, rape, fascist, and so oppression and oppression of women and misogyny, and so they jumped all over that one to try and make out it was indicative of some new trend, with nothing of the sort. From my own perspective, as I was a young guy starting to date and all this sort of thing, I had certain preferences, and I didn't really deviate much from those. And the older I got, the fussier I got as to being a fit guy on a high income and all that sort of stuff. I wasn't short on offers, but I would think close to nearly all of them I knocked them back. Wasn't interested. So the idea that the man doesn't have any involvement in the decision making or selection process, I think is quite absurd. Anyway, so that's the thing going around, that the world is now awash with misogyny, and the Trump election has brought it in. But when you look at the virulent and aggressive anti-straight white male, if anything, through affirmative action and DEI and equity programs, things like that, that directly and aggressively discriminated against straight white men, whether it be in the workplace or college or wherever, then why isn't that being singled out for criticism? But no, that's all fine. So clearly these people are only interested in the social engineering aspects. So equalising social power relations as they would see it, and compensating for centuries gone by. And the quicker these idiots and morons and insane folks are cleared out from the government and from the media, the better. If there are genuine criticisms, make them and then back it up. But this sort of hysterical nonsense, 5,000% increase in misogyny, I mean, you're kidding me, right? You've been a Tacitus today, your Pushback channel, and thank you for listening.